your destination for FRC content, updates, and gaming.
Welcome to the fun.
FRC Updates Now is supported by Stryker Careers. If you are a college student or recent graduate looking for an incredible internship, take a look at Stryker. Stryker provides a housing stipend, great pay, and an opportunity to work with state-of-the-art medical technology equipment. Discover why so many FRC alumni are coming to Stryker for their internship or career at careers.stryker.com. FRC Updates Now is supported by Kettering University. Kettering University hosts 3 co-op employment fairs each year for incoming and current students. Participating in the co-op employment process at Kettering is a great way to begin turning your robotics experience into a professional career to earn money towards graduating debt-free. If you are a senior, it's not too late to apply at kettering.edu/apply.
All right, and bringing it in with number 10 from, this is my favorite place for Mike to say, Atascadero, California. We have Team 973, the Greybots. They were finalists at the, how do you say this regional name?
I thought it was like Miami, but like...
Hunami.
Hunami? Sure. I like that. It's like Miami, but not really. Hunami Port Regional. I'd prefer to go there than Miami, personally. It's closer to more fun things. But they're regional finalists at a very, very stacked regional. They ended up with an overall record of 12-7-0, and they were ranked 5th. And they definitely had one of the most impressive machines. In 2020, the Greybots were fortunate to bring back one of the best drivers in FRC history for the 2022 season, which I'm pumped about. They shook off a few week 1 demons early at their regional, but they were showing their typical brilliance when lights were shining brightest on Saturday afternoon. They bring a well-driven West Coast drive, not a swerve drive, with a turreted shooter in a classic Greybot style machine alongside a nifty L3 climber that scores 10 points in a hurry at the end of the match. And like I said, they went 12-7-0 in official play, but went as the number 2 overall selection by none other than 359, who we talked about earlier, and finished as regional finalists, losing to a buzzsaw of an alliance that we'll hear more about later on, I'm sure. So 973 will certainly take advantage of their practice facility and ability to iterate like crazy to tweak their robot for the next couple or over the next couple weeks. And we'll see them again, like a lot of other teams that competed week 1, in week 4, but they're going to be competing at Sacramento, where I expect them to be ranked pretty high and perform really well.
All right, I lied. It's Port Hueneme. It wasn't in Hunami. Hueneme.
Hueneme? That makes sense. That makes sense.
Thank you for the correction.
973 had a really, really solid showing. I'm always a 973 fan because it's a tough stacked field out there. And like I said before, the driver that they're bringing back this year, he's really good.
Well, he's probably not young anymore, but it's like the young kid, right?
Yeah.
Very awesome, by the way, at Chesney Champs in this past year. 973 absolutely floored me just with how their driving process was great. And the robot wasn't complex or anything like that. It was just good strategy, good driving. Yeah, that's what I love about it.
It's never like super flashy or anything, but like deadly, insanely deadly. You know.
Yeah.
Well, they always have such a solid, robust machine that I wouldn't want to compete against them. And they always, like you guys were saying, like they just have such a well-driven machine. Like the drivers know what to do with what they have and how to make the best of it. So, all right. So we're going to be moving on to number 9. We're heading back to FIM from Lapeer, Michigan. We have Team 5460. It's Strike Zone. So they were at the Kettering District number 1 event. They're another crazy shooting robot out of such a spectacular team. They brought home the Kettering University number 1 title seed, or number 1 title, they seeded number 4 with a record of 15-2-1, and they were the number 1 overall pick by Team 27 Rush and had a dominant eliminations performance going 6-0, which is pretty impressive. And they were putting up scores of 117 and 118 unpenalized, which is pretty impressive in the semis. The Strike Zone showed that you don't need a swerve drive, just like 973, to switch from all over the field, as they utilized their well-turreted shooter to hit shots from just about everywhere. And they were particularly effective under heavy defense. showing a bit of blueprints for teams in their district moving forward, like on how to kind of deal with things. We'll be looking forward to seeing them at what's their next event. Let's see. They're going to be competing at, wow, week 5. That's so far away. So that's going to be at the Troy event. Week 5. That's a big gap. So I can only see them getting better between now and then. I don't know what their practice space is like, but they also took home the Excellence in Engineering Award. So that's a pretty good haul of points for a district team at their first event. And to be able to watch what the rest of the district is doing between 1 and 5, that's a huge advantage. Mike and Tyler, any other thoughts on Strike Zone?
Yeah, I mean, 2 things that come up to me with Strike Zone. One, I totally agree. Their turret has been absolutely phenomenal. They're so close. I think they're really on the brink of that, looking like they can shoot on the fly sort of thing. But regardless, their turret has just been very spot on. Like you said, even under heavy defense, able to get shots pretty accurately into the high hub. So kudos to them for that. Really cool. Traversal Climber on there, overall pretty effective as well. So been looking good for that. I just got to ask a question. With Lapeer, Michigan, this is a city with like 8,000 people, and you have them and Chimeras both out of that city. I think Chimera's out of that city as well too. Like, how do you have these like 2 like top tier teams like in this really small city? On that, I always thought that confused me. I gotta look. I'm pretty sure Chimera's out of Lapeer. They should be. Yeah, they're out of that or Lapeer. However they pronounce it out in the Michigan area.
We're getting roasted. Yeah. Nothing new here. We're getting roasted on our pronounce. Every town has it. It's just like.
But yeah, I mean, that's 2 fantastic teams out of such a small city. Really cool to see. Strike Zone, another one of those teams we should have an interview coming out very soon about them teams. So if you're interested in learning more, you can see more on Behind the Bumpers for them coming up.
They're building the same school, they're saying. Aren't they across the hall from each other?
I feel like we've heard about that before in some previous show. Anyway. All right, so moving on to number 8. From Grand Rapids, Michigan, we have Team 3357, the Comets. They brought home the Calvin University District title after an extremely competitive set of finals matches. The Comets went 17-1-1 in unofficial play, or in official play, and were the number 1 overall seed, choosing their neighbor team, 2075 Enigma Robotics, who we'd talked about previously, and rounding out their alliance with 6122, who, after watching a few of these matches, I was really impressed with their ability to just get some nice little low shots in. The alliance showed the FRC world how to play Rapid React at a very high level. It's like crazy how this was just week 1 with the amount of just smart play that we were seeing across the board. The Comets continuously build some of the best looking machines in FRC, and this year is no different. They showed what a well-executed shooter can do in this game. And they utilized their launch pad shot under defense to keep tracking on points. And they left their partners to really execute relatively unscathed. Their fast, consistent 2-3-4 traversal climb worked flawlessly all weekend and led them to that overall number 1 seed. There's a great chance that we'll see Comets fighting at the end of the season when we're looking to crown a Michigan champion. I feel like the Michigan powerhouse pool of teams is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Really
I mean, there's like 500 teams in Michigan, but yeah. So yeah, I got a chance to see Comets in person as well. Absolutely blown away by their team. You know, they're a team that I think about 2020, 2019 sort of thing. A team that definitely on the radar for things, but more on a regional, local scale, right? I think this performance here has definitely skyrocketed them up into that top tier. And as you mentioned, Christine, one of the very few teams we're actually seeing take the strategy of shooting from the launch pad. I thought we were going to see a whole bunch of teams take that, but I think a lot of teams shifted their focus and were like, oh, we don't necessarily have to do that, right? Like we can shoot up close and that sort of thing, but Comets really embracing it. To me, the only I don't know if improvement's the right word, but from getting their cycle times down when they do shoot from the launch pad, I'm assuming because it's further out that they do stagger their shots a little bit. So you have a little bit slower cycle time from Comets because of that on there. So, but also very accurate as well too with it. And as you mentioned, their climber hit was fantastic on them. We'll see them climb here in just a second as well, but extremely consistent for it. A great machine. And we have both, I think a Behind the Glass is already out and a Behind the Bumpers will be coming out for this team But yeah, super awesome team, and can't wait to see them do more. And glad to see that they are getting great recognition. I had them in my top 5 personally, but getting some great recognition from the FRC community.
We're going to be seeing them week 3, which is pretty cool. Like they're going to be competing again pretty soon. Week 3 at Muskegon event.
Yeah.
Presented by Rank, and then they'll be at the Kentwood event week 5. All right, so we're going to move on to number 7, one of my favorite teams of all time. We have Team 179, Children of the Swamp. And I honestly forgot to put where they're from. Which part of Florida they're from?
Oh, wait, I know this. I don't know this.
Riviera Beach.
Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed that, actually. So Children of the Swamp carried a wowing reveal right into week 1, which could have been on reveal or premiere night. Maybe some
That's
year.
all right.
To take on the South Florida Regional. I know they're one of my all-time favorite teams forever. They have a really cool non-latching windmill climb. It worked tremendously all weekend and likely inspired many other teams that were either at the event or at home to tweak their own designs. By Friday afternoon, swamp shooting was on fire, and they were able to drain shots and buckets from all over the field. They looked strong, going 17-1-0 at the event and finishing as the number 2 seed. And of course, they were scooped up by the Rembrandts, 44-81, as the number 1 overall pick. Swamp Thing is a Florida powerhouse year after year, but it seems like they really hit their stride this year.
Yeah.
I'd expect them to take advantage of the no more bag and continue to making their machine better and better. Fortunately, we don't have to wait too long. They're going to be competing at the back-to-back regionals with their Alliance captain friends, Team 4481, at the Orlando Regional this coming weekend. And who knows, maybe we'll see, little back-to-back banner buddies action from these two teams. But I was personally excited to see 179 come out of the gate hot and actually win. As a team that used to go down to, South Florida Regional, and I think we had gone to a few other ones. Seeing 179 every year show up and do really well was really inspiring every year. But to see them really push through and win and take this one, it was pretty cool.
It's interesting from James and I totally agree, Christine. I think Swamp is a team that is just steady. You know what I mean? Is always out there. So he's saying their one loss was a replay. So did that not fall off then?
It might be a thing with TBA. TBA, I know this year has had a couple issues with API integration. I don't know if this is exactly the case or not for that, but
I got you. Because that
would not surprise me if that was the case.
Then I take it back. They're undefeated. I'm so sorry. Stay undefeated. I'll make sure that I write it next week on top 25, because I have a feeling we'll see them up there again.
Yeah. One thing with the 179 you can see on screen, they are the number 1 ranked endgame team out there, and they don't have the fastest traversal climb. They're about, from when they start climbing, they're about 10 to 14 seconds on their climb, but it is extremely consistent, and they're just spot on with it. So that really attributes to them being that way. And we had a discussion about this on Roundup yesterday. Excuse me. That you don't need a sub 5 second climb necessarily, right? It's a great to have, and it looks really cool, but it isn't necessarily needed just because you saw one team do it, that all teams need to have that to be an extremely successful team. So, if I'm Children of Swamp, I don't know if I really try to retune my climb to be any quicker than what it is. I'd be happy that it's very consistent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes when one surgeon talk is the enemy of good is better. Sometimes trying to go better when you were just good is
that's some college professor insight right there, Mike.
So. The enemy of good is better.
That should be on a poster. It's like
right.
Quotes and then Mike Stark.
Oh no, it's a surgeon. I can't take credit for it.
Sure, you can.
No, well, Mike got it though.
I just typed in a quote.
Yeah.
Perfect is the enemy of good. Oh, it's like Voltaire. I don't know who that is, but I guess they're the one that said it. An Italian proverb in 1770. Interesting.
Still relevant today.
Guess so. Yep.
And moving on. So I'm excited about this one, especially because it's not a Michigan team and it's not a Texas team. We've been flip-flopping between, or California. Right. We've been flip-flopping between these 3 regions. So coming out of not any of those regions, we have team 2910. So team Jack in the Bot. They're from Mill Creek, Washington. I almost said Wisconsin, and I don't know why.
I mean, I wish. I love this team. We'll adopt them. So
Adapt.
I know.
yeah.
Our swerve specialist of FRC. So Jack in the Bot coming in hot on week 1. So our swerve drive specialist, Jack in the Bot, brought another super integrated tiny robot to Rapid React. They do always build tiny, fast robots.
They do.
One of the most unique robot designs we've seen so far, utilizing their shooter hood as a double duty for their speedy traversal climb, which is pretty awesome. 2910 showed off fantastic shooting accuracy from all over the field. I'm not super surprised by it, though. And they went 17-1-0 and won the Pacific Northwest Glacier Peak District event as the #1 seed, also taking home the Autonomous Award. So 2910 has really created their own brand of a robot, and I'm definitely here for every minute of it. I think that they've definitely like established themselves as the West Coast swerve like masters, or Upper West Coast, whatever you'd like to refer to it as. They've really found a way to maximize the use of swerve by creating an extremely well integrated and tiny robot to dominate all aspects of the last few games, not even just this one. And I'm excited to see what the rest of the season has in store for them. And we'll see them competing week 3 at the Sundome event. And then we're going to be seeing them week 5 at the Bonnie Lake event. So they still have 2 more showings before, I would imagine the big dance at their district championship, before, more than likely, fingers crossed, that we'll see them in Houston.
I want to, I love 2910 and I'll talk about them all day, but I actually want to give a big shout out to another team that's in this video. 7461 Sushi Squad is definitely a team that I've seen more of. They're an open alliance team, so I got a chance to see a bit more about them. But not only do I love their branding, the whole sushi stuff is like just super, really awesome. Like, I'll say it's super cute. But the robots, well, too, they almost have this like, it's not quite like a double wide shooter, but when the cargo comes out, you kind of see it that way. But a team that has only been around for a couple of years, but I think is one of those really, really big up and comers in the PNW area.
I mean, like you said, Christine, Jack in the Bot is just a favorite, and ever since what was kind of like their breakout year a couple years ago, it's all blending in, but. Ever like kind of since then, it's just been like a definitely a fave and one we're looking out. And historically, Pacific Northwest historically is underrepresented in the top 25, and it has been, a sore topic for years now. So anybody up there in the Pacific Northwest, please keep spreading the word of fun in the FRC top 25. We just would love more representation from all y'all up there. So. Yeah. All right, good deal. So that brings us, we're going to talk about the last 5 teams coming up here in a second. But first, we do have a giveaway from Vex Pro.
We do.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, hopefully I should make sure that Nightbot is working so we can do giveaways. That'd probably be a good thing, huh? So, okay, it is. That's good. So, from our friends at Vex Pro, they're actually giving away a $50 Vex Pro gift card to their website. By the way, if you haven't checked out, they do have a really cool rewards program on there that you can sign up for, and you get some cool benefits for it as well. But of course, Vex Pro celebrating its 10th season. It's proud to have a hand in designing some of the FRC's most game-changing products, including the Versa Planetary, Versa Frame System, and the Falcon 500. So if you're interested in winning a gift card, $50 to Vex Pro, go in and type 3 words, all Versa everything. Let's see if I can get that in chat. There we go. All Versa everything.
Spaces?
Yeah, with spaces, just like that. Type that in chat. You do need to be following to win, so make sure you click that follow button in order to be eligible. If we draw you and you're not following, we will redraw. There are no, you don't get another chance at all. If a host wins, which for some reason Christine tends to have that horseshoe where she keeps winning giveaways, so we'll redraw.
It was one time, okay?
No, it was twice. You
and
won twice on premiere night. So
it was one show, 2 times.
You won,
okay?
Fair enough.
How many things did I take home?
0.
And by the way, if you are a sub, you do get some extra luck. We just rig it for you that way. So good luck, everybody. We'll draw after the number 1 team.
Sounds good. I do think we'll probably, are we going to take a break at number 3? After number 3, we'll do a little vote.
Actually, when 3 starts, I'm just going to start the prediction, and then we can, before we start 2, we can just mention it. Because by the time that ends, I think the results will wrap up. I think it would be pretty obvious who the top 2 teams are once number 3. Sure. I think once number 4 is announced, like people are going to know who the top 4 are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so for our top five, this was an amazing set of teams here. It's going to be Team 27 in our fifth spot from Clarkson, Michigan, and Clarkson High School. It's the Hall of Fame team Rush, an overall record of 16-1-1, and they were the winners of the Kettering University #1 district event. So, dang, like really no doubt why they are a top five robot here. They have a super slick, smooth robot that just flies around the field with their swerve drive. Don't blink or you'll miss them shooting 5 cargo and autonomous. From there, they just dominate the gameplay with their strategic shooting lanes, and don't forget about the traverse climb at the end. So big things coming this season for 27, and with such a strong start, they'll be competing next outside of FIM, where they compete at the Pittsburgh Regional next weekend. Before then they'll go back into FIM. So, congrats to Rush here, just an amazing machine.
So Rush actually had a lot of issues their first day. So I'm going to give them the regional comeback award, event comeback award, because this team in day two, I caught a little bit about them when I left and went to the other event. Wow, like what an incredible improvement they had. Because watching them day one, great team, absolutely, but you could tell they had a lot more to improve upon, and they definitely were. It looked like they were able to fix a lot of their issues for day two at Kettering 1. So congrats to them on their, almost had a big tip over there, so hopefully they got their CG down as well too. But yeah, I have to admit I was a little surprised when I started looking at day two and saw Rush get up there and in the #1 alliance. They definitely were able to improve and fix a lot of what they had issues going on in day #1. So congrats to them.
For sure. All right, moving on to our fourth ranked team. That's going to be Team 4414 from Port Hueneme, California. It's High Tide, an overall record of 16-1-1, and they were the winners of their hometown regional. So High Tide is definitely a team that is, I believe, is on the cusp of really being a more recognized team than they already are across first. So we've been seeing them every so often on the past 25, the top 25 over the last couple of years, and just what a start for them here in 2022 to be at number 4. They would rank this past weekend number 2 at the regional and would be selected by 1678. And with some other ranking score averages that we have seen this weekend, their 3.33 was not good enough for first, which is what's kind of crazy. And kind of we were talking about the difference amongst regionals and events and district events this weekend. So 4414 is a blazing fast machine with versatility that just can't be defended. They were in one of these clips here, they were pushed up against kind of the near side of the field. So it didn't bother them. They just spun their turret and just scored while being pinned. So I'm legit very excited to really see this team in the future gameplay later this year. And luckily, we won't have to wait too long, as we'll see them again this weekend in Ventura County. And as I had mentioned earlier, wouldn't be surprised to see back-to-back wins here with them teaming up with 359. So good luck to 4414 High Tide this weekend, and congratulations on your regional win.
Yeah, really well said. This is a team that has actually only been around for a couple years. I think they were a replacement team to a team that fell out off the top of my head. But technically, they've only been a team, I think, since 2019 off the top of my head. 4414, awesome team. Got to do an interview with them last year. Really just well-centered group of individuals for that. By the way, somebody did trigger emotes only. We're only gonna hold that for a little bit. I'll actually refund you your bits because we're doing a giveaway right now. We really don't want to take away from people doing a giveaway. But we'll leave on emotes only just for a couple minutes for y'all.
Perfect deal. All right, so our third ranked team here. I think my wife is home. Yep. Our third ranked team here is Team 3310 from Heath, Texas, and Rockwall Heath High School. It's Blackhawk Robotics with an overall record of 17-1. They were the winners of the Waco District event. So it's an 11-1 record and a 3.08 ranking score average. 3310 would end up second and be selected by the #1 seed 148, Blackhawk Robotics. Blackhawk Robotics is no match for defense. They just slide by defense with their swerve drive and can shoot and score from absolutely anywhere. It's so hard to watch matches like these because you just can't watch everything that's happening like all at the same time. You can't keep track of 3310 and 148 and what's going on the other side of the field. Waco is just an amazing event, and their great auto and teleapp gameplay is sealed off with their quick traverse climb at the end. They're just so dominant out there. Teams are going to have to find a way to defend against 3310 and the likes thereof because they're just way too good. So congrats and good luck the rest of the way here to Blackhawk Robotics.
By the way,
They
before we get
were
into our number
easily-
two, before we get our number two, we do have our prediction started. So if you're interested in predicting who will be number one, go ahead and do that. Sorry about that, Christine.
No worries. I was just going to say I was absolutely blown away watching this robot. So I tuned into the Waco event because I obviously was dying to see 148, but I was also pumped to see 3310. They also have like a secret weapon that I don't know if you guys know about, but they have two weenie dogs on their team, Spike and Einstein. So that
Nice.
automatically just makes them a better team. But I remember I tuned in and was watching the match where they were with 148 in one of their quals. I think it was day 2 when I tuned in to watch that. And off the bat, like just full on defense, like slammo into that robot. And they were just draining buckets the whole time. And at one point, like one side of their intake was just like flapping. And I was like, I wonder if that's a design feature. And then they went to go hang and I was like, that's definitely broken. And it kept working. So, I mean, I know that they were definitely hard to say like, oh, they were, definitely better than 148 because watching those two robots together, like black swervy machines just dominating the field, it was hard to tell genuinely who was better of the two. But 3310 at a insane first showing, I would say. I'm excited to see where they go from here. The fact that their driver was able to really handle that defense so well week 1, kudos to them. And I'm excited to see what that team does moving forward if that was their first showing.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
completely agree
All
with
right,
you.
so-
I mean, 3310 is 3310 has definitely been a team that has been phenomenal. And every single time I get a chance to watch them and speak with them, it's always a pleasure. And can't wait to see them do even more. In their next event, are they with 140 in their next event or not? I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat and look it up. So,
same here.
At Irving. So they are with 140.
They
I'm going to tell you.
118,
okay.
Barbecue.
Yeah, so I think looking at Irving, that's going to be really interesting to see where the pair ups are for something like that as well, because who gets left behind, right? So especially with Barbecue, mentioned before in our previous show, Barbecue did not have the best showing out there, so not sure if they're going to be in that top conversation or not. But I want to see 3310 take the number 1 and just roll with it all the way. That's what I think the one thing I want them to really see during our official season event. I know Texas Cup, different story, but talking about here during the 2022 season.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see with 118 in the mix, since that'll be their. Will that be 118 second? Yeah, that'll be 118 second event.
When he has like a Bayou event
weekend.
or something like that, or no, Bayou's week 5 for them, but Channel View week 2, yeah.
All right, so we're going to get in the top 2 here, and we did have a prediction started. Hey, I would have put some channel points on 148 as well, because that would have been some sweet odds. But that being said, our second ranked team is going to be Team 148 from Greenville, Texas, and Greenville High School. It is the Robo Wranglers with an overall perfect record of 18-0. They were the winners of the Waco District event. So naturally flowing here from 3310 to 148, and 148 makes their 2022 debut at number 2 here. Perfect quals record with a 3.33 ranking score average. 148 is in their truest form with their spur drive and turreted shooter. As we're seeing a lot with other teams on top 25 this week, what's separating these teams is just the level of play through defense. 148 just powers through teams and has just a really great touch on the arc of their shot into the high goal. Also, their traverse climb is just really cool. We're kind of just seeing a lot of slow, gingerly, take your time, delicate climbs, but in true 148 fashion, they just blast up there, which is just so fun to watch. Another amazing robot from the Robo Wranglers this year. Good luck the rest of your season. And of course, we'll be seeing you back here very soon. And as we just mentioned, that Irving district event coming up is just going to be absolutely one to watch. So congratulations to 148 on your number 2 appearance here. Any other thoughts or comments on 148 before we move on to number 1?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say. Fantastic machine. Can't wait to get a chance to watch it a bit more, and can't wait to see it week 6 in person as well too at the Fit Championships.
Tyler, sorry, I didn't see your message. That would have been funny.
Oh yeah, I asked Mike if he would troll everybody and say 148 took 1 just because of the channel points. But
yeah,
that's
people.
Right.
It's good. All right. With that being said, our last and final team, our number 1 ranked team through week 1, of the FRC Top 25 is going to be Team 1678. From Davis, California, and Davis Senior High School, it's the Citrus Circuits. With a record of 17-1, they were the winners of the Hueneme Port Regional. So, would really kind of love a group conversation here between the three of us. And personally, it's not much of a shock really to see 1678 up here. I mean, we saw the reveal video on premiere night, and I just don't think we'll ever get tired of seeing this cargo sorting system that they have on their robot. Watching it just go around the field, on the backside there where you can't see in your blind spot, not worrying about, which cargo you're running over and picking up. I was watching their finals match 1, and I think looked away like literally for a second, and I lost them, and because they were just moving around the field so fast. So all their mechanisms are S tier, and just don't have a flaw. So their playoff scores this past weekend was 132, 136, 99. Only missed 100 by a point, 131, 121, and 123. So it's always great to see any first game really played at such a competitive, fast-paced level. And obviously 1678 didn't disappoint this past weekend. It was so awesome to see them just play this game.
Yeah, to me, I love the cargo ejection thing, and somebody posted in chat as well too. I think Tyndall Root said of in the strategy of ejecting cargo to like the opponent's hangar area to make them work for it even more is so fantastic. I did see one other team that had like this ejection type thing, but definitely not as fluent as what 1678's was on this. So yeah, I mean, everybody on that team that makes it all possible. I've had a chance to work with a lot of people from that team because we did like the catathon with them as well too. Very complete team on this. I don't think hopefully nobody's saying mentor bill or anything like that, because I promise you it's not. This is a team that is just extremely well rounded, has fantastic students and fantastic mentors, and just creates some of the best robots in the world that I absolutely love to see.
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot in chat too, like a lot of other teams that have these ball sorting mechanisms. It's absolutely brilliant, and it's cool to see like a component like that is so obviously developed, in FLL land, or can be like, rooted there, and then brought back up to FRC.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. Yeah, kind of seeing some things that are maybe some of these now we're seeing as students are getting through FLL up in FRC, maybe really starting to see these game challenges and design challenges and almost in a different light for different ways that they had to solve problems when they were younger in FLL and FTC.
Mm-hmm. And I think too, like the thing that I would like to think is that based on, people are saying like 5460 and 1023 have a sorting mechanism too. I know that we saw Citrus on premiere night, which is really awesome. And I would imagine there may have been another robot out there that probably didn't do it to the capacity that Citrus did, but it was probably cool and validating to be like, oh, we did that too. Or, oh, that's a great idea, and move forward with it. So I think we're going to see a lot of that integration, the pooper, as I think a lot of teams are calling it.
Nice.
The ball pooper. And yeah, I can't imagine this is one of those teams where it's like, all right, where do we go from here?
Yeah.
What's going to get faster? What's going to get better?
And I think we'll be talking about another one of those teams next week with 1690 as well too, once they're voting eligible as well. But yeah, I mean, can you imagine teams like this pairing up at championships potentially, just how incredible this is going to be. So yeah, I mean, very exciting.
And considering I mean, we were talking about before, where do you go with the level of play? Your third robot, there's going to be some interesting strategies with, do you pick just a defense robot? Do you put 3 on offense? It's going to be interesting to see when the fields get deeper and deeper and robots are getting better and better over the season, kind of how strategy evolves, which we see which does every season.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, depth of field is going to be awesome this year. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm starting to think along the lines of the 2016 gameplay too, that we saw evolve as the season went on. I know there are so many other components to that game, but thinking back to, using your third alliance partner as ball starvation, alliance partner, or here, you're going to deliver the game pieces to the backside of the field where we need to score them. I think we're going to see some really high thought level of play. One thing that is really difficult as a viewer, I think, to just watch and keep track of what's going on with this game is the game pieces are cycled back into the field. So you have to really pay attention to what's going on and making sure okay, I'm I'm keeping track of, how many balls have we scored, where's the other team at, how much time do we have left, like all that stuff. So I think as we move forward into the season, because of the high level of play we're seeing across the board already, not even just from the elite teams, but it's easier to get a 4 RP. It's easier to, complete the game tasks. It's going to be crazy to see where just like the playoff gameplay ends up strategically. And it's not, we're going to be seeing like crazy high scores. I think we're going to see a lot of like, ball starvation or other things that, Citrus is blasting balls in auto to keep them away from their
what's the next meta,
like,
right? That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. It's like
Awesome.
we're going to beat you before we even touch the controls. So good stuff.
Let's go ahead and draw for our giveaway, which once again was a $50 gift card from our friends at Vex Pro. And the winner of that, by the way, if you do win for that, just need your name and email, as that's going to be a sent to E.
Oh, good for you, Tyler.
Yeah.
Don't mess with the shipping stuff.
We're working on it. So congratulations, Arc
I hope
BL.
somebody gives it a try.
Yeah, Arc BL. Not a sub, by the way. See, it's not always rigged.
Wait, did they win something during...
That does sound familiar, so I don't know.
It does.
Yeah, I agree. So, but Arc BL, congratulations. Please make sure you shoot First Updates Now a message, preferably on Discord, but always on Twitch, with your first name, last name, and email, so we can get that out to you. Thanks a lot, the Vex Pro, for the giveaway. Make sure you go check them out. VexPro.com for all your supplier needs. And we have, by the way, giveaways from other suppliers that we've been doing throughout the week. Expect more as we come out. We have at least 3 of them. Hopefully 4 are going to be doing giveaways throughout the entire season. So thanks a lot to all of our suppliers for stepping up and doing that. All right. So, by the way, thank you to everybody for tuning in. That's going to wrap up FRC Top 25 Week 1. Special thanks to all those who clicked that follow button or help Fun stay loud, live, and independent by clicking that sub button. It really does help. For us, we're without going into detail, we're a very shoestring budget operation. We work really hard to try to get you great content, and it definitely helps, makes us feel good when you give us that reciprocation and support. Buy us a cup of coffee if you can. We really do appreciate it to keep us going for things. But otherwise, make sure you just click that follow button. Tell other people, Fun is back. As we all get back into what is the ethos of First, everybody's coming back at different paces, and we're delighted to see so many of you back here with us, and we can't wait for future ones as well. Don't forget a bunch of other shows happening. This is going to wrap up for live shows for the week, but Mondays and Tuesdays, we do have our live shows. So FRC recap starting 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Monday, followed by FRC Roundup, which is our roundtable discussion show talking about different pertinent topics in FRC. And then on Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, we have our Fantasy Pick'em. Make sure you get your picks in by the end of Wednesday. For that, on our Discord, you can check out more about that. And of course, here, FRC Top 25, 8:30 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday. Voting for that opens Sunday afternoon and will close Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Very quick turnaround. So please get your votes in. We want to get as many people as we can for that. With that said, Mike and Christine,
we did get a raid redeem. I don't know if you want to.
Oh, I didn't see that. I'm
look
sorry.
at that before. Just I wanted to mention that at the end. So yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in this week, and please vote. Please vote. Like Tyler said, it is Sunday from 5 p.m. to Monday at 5 p.m. And really just excited to see. And it's only viable for teams that have competed that week, in addition to the Israel ones that competed today. So we used to kind of just do. Once they competed, you were always eligible, and we changed that several years ago for the better. And you only can vote for teams that competed. So I look forward to seeing who shows up in the top 25 next week.
Absolutely. Mike and Christine, great job as always. Really appreciate everybody being on. Can't wait to have Justin back as well too. But we did have a raid review, so we're just going to head over to that raid. I don't know who this person is. I'm assuming there's somebody that's at least somewhat related to the First. So if you can, just spam their channel as much as possible. Tell them that Fun sent you, and we're going to start that raid momentarily to send you over to that. Other than that, can't wait to see everybody. Next week I will be at Finger Lakes Regional, upstate New York. Are you two at events at all? You said Mike, Florida, maybe?
I might pop down. Yeah, I might pop down to the Orlando Regional.
Perfect. Christine?
We are heading north to Maine to compete at our first event. And if I can make it up there, I'm going to be so excited because Jamie will be there. And there's 3 alpaca farms within like a 5-mile radius.
Oh my gosh. All right, I'll be there. I'll meet you there.
Thanks to Kettering University for their support of this video. Kettering University hosts 3 co-op employment fairs each year for incoming and current students. Participating in the co-op employment process at Kettering is a great way to begin turning your robotics experience into a professional career to earn money towards graduating debt-free. If you are a senior, it's not too late to apply at kettering.edu/apply. Thanks to Stryker Careers for their support in this video. First alumni and mentors are making Stryker a top priority for their internships and careers. That's because Stryker knows that those in First are the leaders and innovators of tomorrow. If you want to help make the world a better place by creating life-saving medical devices and technology, get started at careers.stryker.com. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on our new videos. Keep the conversation going and provide your input to our content. Watch our live shows at twitch.tv/firstupdatesnow. Join our Discord at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow and check out Fun FTC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and First Updates Now on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.